All right, so taking a few moments to arrive as usual, take a few breaths, find your posture here and align yourself so that your posture is sustainable but it's active. You can feel the spine lifting, your shoulders moving away from your ears, but your chest is broad. Your waist is moving away from your hips, and you feel well grounded through your feet and your sit bones. And if you are comfortable closing your eyes, do so. Keep some softness around the face. And then tune into your breath. Allowing all your attention to go to that breath, to focus on your breath in, on your breath out. And then as you bring attention to your breath, chances are your breath became a bit more obvious. You made it a bit deeper already. You found a bit longer exhale. You find a bit more obvious movement too, so taking advantage of the inhales to stretch a bit more the chest and the rib cage. And then taking advantage of your exhales to soften the shoulders, to relax, let go of something. And then noticing the cyclical nature of the breath. So after each inhale comes an exhale, and after each exhale comes an inhale. And that relationship between inhale and exhale. So a deeper inhale will allow for a longer exhale. And a longer emptying exhale will allow for a deeper and longer inhale. So playing with that for a few more cycles. And if possible, breathe a bit more through the nose. It will allow you to control the breath just a little further. And then bring your attention to the sound of your breath. Notice the sound as you breathe in and the sound as you breathe out. And then keep paying attention to your breath throughout your practice, and notice when you get extra distracted with the movements and the posture, and when the breath becomes kind of second or really in the background. And then try to bring it to the foreground even if the movements seem demanding. Try to use your breath to actually help with those movements and postures. Take another breath in, lengthen through the spine, and then with your eyes closed or open, drop the chin gently towards your chest. Noticing the space in the back of the neck, and then taking the left ear to the left shoulder, noticing now the space in the right side of the neck. We'll bring it back through center, and then let's take it to the other side, right ear towards the right shoulder. Now some space in the left side of the neck. Let's do it one more time each side. Take your own rhythm here, your own pace. No rush. And then the next time that your chin arrives at your chest, pause, take another breath in. And take a long breath out. As you breathe in, looking forward, opening eyes if they were still closed, arms open out into a T. The palms are facing forward. And as you exhale, bring your arms in front of you and interlace those fingers. Turn the palms away, push the palms forward as you send your back body back. Draw the belly towards the spine, engaging through deeper abdominal muscles. We're going to stay here for another full breath in. Another breath out. See if you can push that back body even further and forward even more. And then as you inhale, let's reach those arms up. Lengthen the spine, and on your exhale, lower the right hand down, side stretch, turn your left palm over. Inhale, come back through center, reaching tall. And then on your exhale, other side. Inhale, coming back through center. Find the opposite interlace now of your fingers overhead, and again, turn the palms and push them away from you. Get that stretch through your fingers, your palms, and your wrists. Breathing in. And on your exhale, again, send them forward and push that back body back. Engaging, again, deeper abdominal muscles. We're going to pause here. Breath in. And breath out. One more, just like that. Inhale. And exhale. As you breathe in, arms towards the ceiling. And as you breathe out, arms wide, shoulder height. We're pausing there, palms facing away. And then take a full breath in. And then on your exhale, begin to rotate through those shoulders. The arm bone is rotating in the shoulder socket. And then in the opposite direction. And you're still pushing away through the heels of your hands. Fingers spread. And then pause the rotation, point your fingers away from you, make a fist and drop those knuckles towards the floor. Give the wrist a top stretch, the top of the wrist. Breathing in and breathing out. As you inhale, open up those palms facing forward, and then on your exhale, right arm comes across, bend the elbow, and use your left hand to draw that right elbow in a bit closer. Get that stretch through the right side of that shoulder blade. Drop your right shoulder, and then draw the whole shoulder blade back and down. Breathing in and breathing out. As you inhale, open up those arms, and on your exhale, switching sides. Left arm comes across, the elbow bends, and then you're using that right hand to draw that elbow closer, but then you're going to resist, so that left shoulder blade drops and draws back. Full breath in, and a full breath out. As you inhale, bring those arms out once again, and then on your exhale, relax those arms down by your side. Give your fingers a little wiggle, rotate the wrists, relax the shoulders, notice any sensations, and then bring the hands to rest on your thighs. Let's take a full breath in, lifting the heels, and as you exhale, lower those heels, pushing through those heels. Again, lift and lower. And lift and lower. On your inhale, lift, and this time only lower your left heel. From here, let's give the top of the foot a stretch. So we're going to draw those toes under the chair any amount. See if you can point them towards the space behind you. Maybe slide that foot a little further. Maybe that right knee drops down towards the floor. Then give that top of the foot a press down into the mat. Try to keep your knee pointing forward or your knee in line with the hip, so don't let it flail out too much. And don't overdo it. So it's quite the stretch for the top of the foot and ankle and shin. And it's early in practice too. Take another breath in and breath out. And then bring that foot forward, and we're going to extend that leg out in front of us. Heel is on the ground, and now toes are drawing towards the shin. Give your toes a little wiggle first, and then really draw them back. Engage through your quad, pull the kneecap towards the hip, squeeze through your glute, and then inhale, reach your arms up. On your exhale, hands to your hips, we're folding forward from the hips. Find those hip flexors. And then as you breathe in, we're rising up. So we're going to move a little bit here. Reach your arms tall. As you breathe out, find a twist. Left hand behind you, right hand crosses over. Okay, so these two movements, again, coming back through center, reaching arms tall, lengthen side body. Exhale, hands to hips. Find any amount of fold that allows you to keep your spine neutral more than rounded. Inhale, coming back up, reach your arms up. Exhale, twist, rotating towards the left. Again, coming back through center, breathing in. Finding that fold as we breathe out. One more time, just like that, rising up, breathing in. Finding that twist, breathing out. Back through center, breathing in. Finding that fold, breathing out. We're going to pause here, give a extra push through that right heel. Lengthen the spine. Imagine your waist expanding, lengthening away from your hips. Take another breath in. Take another breath out. As you inhale, rising up, reach your arms tall, and then wrap your left hand around your right wrist and pull that right wrist up, and then take it any amount towards the left side. Think about your right ribs pushing right. So rather than taking the whole torso over, resist. So right ribs are reaching towards the right side as the right arm goes over towards the left. Full inhale and a full exhale. As you breathe in, coming back through center, arms go wide, and then hands to your hips. Engage that right quad and hip flexor. Push through the heel. We're lifting that leg up. And then let's bend the knee and bring it all the way into your chest. Hands around your shin or under that thigh. Once you've got that knee in, really squeeze in and lengthen up. And then from here, rotate that right ankle in one direction. And then switch. And let's pause with that ankle and let's take some rotations through that right hip. So whatever you need to do with your hands, maybe support the thigh with both hands or maybe with one. Controlled movement. Try not to flail too much through the ankle and the knee or not at all, and then switch direction. Nice job. Keep that spine lengthening up. And then bring that knee back through center and straight into a figure four, crossing that ankle over or the thigh or the left shin. So if you need to, lengthen that left leg out onto or out in front of you. Flex through your right toes, foot, and draw that right knee down and pointing away from you. Okay, staying here, this might be plenty. If not, hands come to hips and you can find that forward fold. From your hips, breathing in and breathing out. Nice job. And another breath in and breath out. And then as you inhale, coming back through center, you can reach your arms up. And on your exhale, finding a twist towards the left. Once again, left hand behind us, right hand crosses over. Maybe to your thigh or maybe to that right foot. But try not to round over. So don't reach for the foot if that's going to make that right shoulder go forward and over. Okay, try to keep that broad chest and draw that right shoulder back and down. Breathing in and breathing out. Nice. Another inhale, lengthening up and exhale. And then coming back through center, reaching those arms tall. And on your exhale, relaxing those arms down and releasing that right foot back to the ground. Let's do all of that on the other side. Let me see if I remember. So hands rest on your thighs, lift your heels on the inhale. And then as you exhale, drop your right heel. So you're on your left toes, and right away we're going for that stretch through the top of the foot. So anywhere between the toes, under the knee, or going behind you or under your chair, pointing back. And then again, looking for that stretch through the top of the foot, the front of your ankle, depending on how tight those shins are. Those shins might also feel that stretch. Breathing in and breathing out. And as always, notice what the rest of the body is doing here. Okay, so notice if sensation was quite intense and then transferred into tension in the face, try to relax that. Shoulders down. One more breath. And then from here, bringing that leg forward, extending it out in front of us. Toes are drawing towards the shin. Maybe your toes get a little wiggle after that intense stretch and the pointing. And then push down through that left heel, reach your arms up. And on your exhale, bring your hands to your hips and find that fold forward and down. Remember, neutral spine, and we're going to find that movement between this and that twist. So as you inhale, come back up through center. And on your exhale, this time it's the right hand coming behind us and the left hand crossing over. So we're going to be turning towards the right. As you breathe in, back through center, arms lift. As you breathe out, hands to hips as we fold. And again, inhale, rising up, arms lift, lengthen. Exhale, right hand behind us, left hand crosses, twist. Again, center, inhale. Exhale, hands to hips, find that fold. Keep that spine more neutral than rounded. Inhale, coming back through center, lift. Exhale, twist to the right. Again, back through center, inhale. Exhale, find that fold. We'll do it one more time. Inhale, coming back up, lift, lengthen. Exhale, right hand behind you, left hand crosses, twist. Inhale, back through center. And exhale, find your fold. We'll pause here in the forward fold. Keep drawing those toes towards your shin. Think about lengthening the waist. Squeeze through that quad, that left quad, the glute, left glute. Another breath in. And another breath out. As you inhale, we are rising, arms lift. And this time your right hand is going to wrap around your left wrist and we're pulling that left wrist up. And then we're taking it over towards the right side. And now again, remember here, try not to just lean over with the whole body. And you'll notice that if you're doing that, you'll lose some weight into that left heel and that left sit bone. So try to push down through there and push your left ribs towards the left side, any amount. So it might not look like much changes from the outside, but it feels different. Another breath in. And another breath out. As you inhale, we're coming back through center. And then on the exhale, hands are coming to the waist and engage through that left thigh. And we're going to lift that left leg. And then we're coming into figure four. I think we did we do figure four? Actually, no, sorry. We're going to bring that knee in and let's bring those hands around the shin. So I wanted to do a bit of hip rotation before we go into figure four. So find first some movement through your ankle and both directions. And then remember, as you draw that leg in, lengthen up. So use this squeeze of the knee in to find a bit more lift through the spine. And then from here, let's keep the foot flexed and we'll go for those hip rotations. So hands maybe stay around the shin, or maybe you transfer to the back of the thigh, or maybe you use one hand. So in one direction. And then in the other. Noticing any differences between sides, between hips. And then bring that knee back through center, and then let's find that figure four this time, yes. So crossing that left ankle just over the thigh or the shin. And then don't cross it too far over. So you just kind of, your ankle bone is just off your thigh here. If you cross it too much, you'll go a bit into internal rotation. So try to do a bit more external rotation. So you've got your knee kind of going out away from you. And then toes are flexed, and you might stay here, this might be plenty, or bring your hands to your hips and encourage the flexion to happen from your hip flexors, your hips, as you go forward and down with your chest. And again, relax the face. Draw those elbows slightly back so you're keeping your chest open. And as always, find the balance between effort and ease. And that's up to you where to find that and how to, right? One more breath. And then as you inhale, coming back up, and then releasing this figure four, left foot plants down, hands rest on your thighs. Give your shoulders a little roll, bring them up, and relax them down. And do that again, up by your ears. And soften them down. Last one like that. Breath in. And a breath out. Nice job. All right. Reach your arms up. Interlace those fingers overhead. Bend your elbows and then bring the hands to the back of the head. Allow the head to rest into your hands if that's comfortable. Maybe looking up and notice the stretch, the space in your chest, your armpits. Take a full breath in, your rib cage. Take a full breath out. One more inhale here. And now as you exhale, elbows come forward, chin towards the chest, belly to spine as you round and you find space now in the back body. So moving between these two, inhale as we find space in the front of the body and contract the back muscles. And then as you exhale, contract the front muscles, that core, and then find space and stretch through the back muscles. One more time, breathing in, opening up. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards one another. And then exhale and round. Squeeze the belly towards the spine. As you inhale, coming back through center, opening your arms out into a T and finding those fists. So fingers in, thumbs on the outside. And then turn your palms to face forward and then drop the knuckles towards the floor. So as if you were pouring a cup of tea, right, with a kettle. So you're getting a stretch through the thumb side of your wrist. And as always, try to keep your shoulders down. I always find I can do a bit more of that. It's never like a lost cue to lower the shoulders. They always seem to be a little higher than they could be, or than they want to, or a comfortable being. One more breath. And then with your next inhale, open up those palms, face them forward. And as you exhale, the right arm is going to come on top of the left. Cross at your elbows and then choose your shoulders. Or if you can keep your elbows as close together as possible, lift your forearms. See how that feels? Tops of the hands drawing towards one another. Maybe some of you can get the palms to come to touch. But try to keep an alignment between your elbows, your wrists, and the tips of your fingers. So if bringing the palms together means that your wrists need to flex and do strange movements here, I would just keep the tops of the hands drawing towards one another. Nice. Notice that stretch through upper back, shoulder blade area, between those shoulder blades, and as always, take a pause anytime, undo at any point. One more breath. And then with your next inhale, unwind those arms, reach them tall. And then as you exhale, left arm down, side stretch. We're going to pause here. You could stay here, or you could bend the top elbow, hand to the back of the neck, and you could bring your left hand over to the right thigh. Lift that right elbow towards the ceiling and get that extra space through the right side of the body. Right armpit, rib cage. Breath in, you might even look up towards the ceiling if that's available. Breath out. One more inhale. And now on your exhale, the right elbow is going to move towards the left thigh. So it's crossing in front of the body and going down. And then we'll open up again, breathing in. And round and twist as you breathe out. Inhale, open one more time. And exhale and round. Now as you breathe in, come back through center, reach both arms towards the ceiling. And as you breathe out, bring your arms out into a T again. This time, as we cross those arms, we're going to bring the left arm on top of the right. See if you can stack your elbows and then hands onto your shoulders. Or again, explore lifting those forearms, but keeping your elbows locked or hooked. Tops of the hands, palms, see where you're at, see how it feels. And then see if you can get that stretch through your upper back. Keep your shoulders down and find that space between the shoulder blades. Breathing in, breathing out. Another breath in, and another breath out. Last one here, breath in, and breath out. Now as you inhale, unwind those arms, reach them tall, and on your exhale, it's your right hand that lowers by your side. Find that left side stretch. And then top elbow bends, hand to the back of the head. And then your right hand can cross over and rest on your left thigh. Don't try not to put pressure on the head or the neck with the top hand. And then lift that elbow, maybe turn the gaze up towards the ceiling. Think about that stretch through tricep, armpit, rib cage, all the way to the left side of the waist. Take a full breath in. And then on your exhale, left elbow guides towards that right thigh, so forward and down. Again, try not to push on your head with your hand. Open up again, breathing in. And round, fold, breathing out. One more time, breathing in, open, notice that space. And breathing out as you round. As you inhale, come back through center, both arms reach tall. And then on your exhale, find some space between your feet and your knees. And we're folding forward. So feel free to bring hands to your thighs, support your spine as your chest goes forward and down. Keep pushing into your thighs, so you're supporting that torso, and then transfer your hands to your shins, or maybe lower to your ankles. And then we'll find a halfway lift. Inhale, activate, reach forward with the top of the head, belly draws in. Exhale and fold, dropping the head more passive. Press through your feet, halfway lift, inhale. Fold, exhale. One more time, breathing in, half lift, and breathing out, and fold. Nice job. Pause in your forward fold. Make it a restful place. So remember here, if hanging works, do that. If you need to support the spine to make yourself more comfortable, then forearms can come onto your thighs. You could interlace your fingers and make a little basket for your head if the head reaches there. You could even just let your thumbs rest on the temples of the head. And let's take about 3 to 5 cycles of breath. So as best you can, this is a restful place. Maybe some open mouth exhales. And then as you're ready, making your way up with that spine, slowly with control. Your chin stays tucked, or you control the weight of your head throughout, and that will be the last thing to lift. And then just a little bit more with those legs. So from here, heel to toe, your feet a little wider. Your ankles more or less under those knees, your hands on your thighs. Push the thighs away, lengthen the spine, and then send your left shoulder forward and down as you turn your torso towards the right thigh. push the left thigh away, breath in, breath out, nice job. And then come back through center. Let's do the same on the other side. Right shoulder goes forward and down. Torso turns towards that left thigh. And then you're pushing that right thigh away. And it's not only about that right thigh stretch, but also notice the space that appears in the right waist and hip. And then bringing yourself back through center. Relax those shoulders down. Wiggle your fingers. And then heel to toe your feet back to hip width. All right, so if you have your block nearby, we can use the block to come up to stand. We're going to plant it between the knees. So not your thighs, between the knees. So kind of partly between the knees, the lower part of your thigh and the upper part of the lower leg. And then find your position here with your feet more or less hip width, your toes pointing forward. Press evenly through the soles of the feet, and we're going to lift and lower 3 times, and the block shouldn't move from where it is. So reach your arms forward, and when you're ready, inhale and rise. And as you exhale, lower. And then again, inhale and rise. Exhale and lower. Nice job. And now I'm going to offer you a bit of a challenge. So inhale and rise. And now exhale and lower halfway. See if you can pause. Wait into your heels. Nice job. Relax the face. And then lower all the way down. All right. Okay, move the block out of the way. And we'll only lift once. We'll stay lifted without the block, but imagine the block was still there. So there's action in your legs. Reach your arms forward, bring your weight forward, lift those sit bones off your chair, and now stay in this position. Send weight into your heels, maybe even lift your toes, wiggle them, and then draw the belly towards the spine and see if you can lift your torso just a little bit more. Your arms maybe come up by your ears, and as you reach through your fingers, you are heavy through your sit bones and heels. Take a full breath in. Take a full breath out. And then push the floor away. Keep your thighs engaged. Keep pushing away, lengthen up, reach through the fingers. And on your exhale, lower your arms all the way down. Little wiggle, little release. And then we're going to use the seat of the chair. And I thought we would explore some down dogs and some planks a little bit today. So, as always, see where you're at today, see what the levels of energy and strength are, and adapt accordingly. Okay, so we're going to use the seat of the chair, and we'll start from a table pose position. And then once you've got your table pose, the hands might stay on the seat of the chair, or if your chair is one of those that you can wrap your fingers around the edge of the seat, that might be a good alternative or better alternative, so that you've got a good grip. Your wrists are not as strained as in, palms planted, and you can hold onto the chair a bit more and use it a bit more in our down dogs. So from here, feet are going to walk back, and then your arms are extending. Your head's going to come more or less between your arms, and your heels and your knees and your hips are still more or less in line, but you're trying to reach those sit bones away from your hands. Make sure your chair is not going to slide away from you, so if you need to place it against the wall, you could do that so that you can really kind of push into it or push away from it. And then allow your head kind of to hang a bit if it's comfortable. So you might even be looking at your toes or even at your knees. Try to broaden upper back and try not to lock out your elbows. So if you can find just a little bend into them, do so. And remember about a bend in the knees. That will allow your sit bones to lift a bit more. And keep pushing down through your heels. Breathing in and breathing out. Now from here, we're going to come out into a plank pose. So begin to come onto the balls of the feet, lift your hips and travel forward. Shoulders are going to come over those wrists. And then as you exhale, return to that down dog position. So heels lower, sit bones go back. And shoulders move back too. And then see if you can do this again. Come forward into your plank, making sure that your chair is stable, so it's not going to move away from you. And then moving back into your downward facing dog. Nice job. And one more time, breathing and bring it forward. Try not to let your hips drop as you come forward into plank. So you're keeping a slight tuck of the tailbone, lower belly draws in, and then moving back into your downward facing dog. Nice job. Walk your feet towards the chair, and then bring your hands to your hips, chin to chest as you slowly unroll the spine with a little bend in your knees. Once you come all the way up, bring your palms together, interlace your fingers, find a little rotation through the wrists, release any pressure there. Switching direction. And then release those wrists, and we're going to do a bit of a shoulder kind of stretch, strengthening. So let's bring the left arm out to the side. Palm is facing back, so thumb is pointing down, and then slide that arm behind you, bending your elbows. So your right forearm is kind of at your lower back. And then do the same with the left arm. So left arm comes out into a T, the palm faces back, thumb points down, and then slide that forearm onto that lower back. And then see if you can grab a hold of your wrist, of your forearm, or the opposite forearm, or the opposite elbow. Okay? Whatever is available here. And then get a good grip. Now take a full breath in, lengthen through the spine. And now on your exhale, push that lower back into those arms, drawing the belly towards the spine, squeezing through the glutes. And find that resistance. So keep pushing that lower back into your arms and notice any sensations in the front of the shoulders, upper back. The core is engaged, the glutes are engaged. And you're finding that push back into your arms, but you've got that strong grip on your arms as you do so. One more breath in and breath out. And then release. Wiggle your fingers, soften the shoulders, shake it out if needed. And then we'll come back into a few more of those down dogs and planks. Okay. So meeting again in your table pose, holding on to the seat of the chair if that works for you. And then from here, find your down dog. So walk your feet back, lengthen from those fingers all the way to those sit bones. Find that little bend in your knees, that stretch through the backs of the legs. Allow the head to be between your arms. Take a full inhale and take a full exhale. As you breathe in, begin by lifting your heels and then travel forward with your hips and with your shoulders coming out into your plank pose. Stay strong through your legs and then travel back, lifting those hips up and back and then dropping those heels, lengthening those arms. And then again, inhale, coming forward, out into your plank pose. Nice job and nice control. And exhale, moving back into your downward facing dog. So as you do this, try to keep your neck neutral. So sometimes when we go into plank, we want to kind of reach forward with the chin. Try to still look down. So you'll end up looking at the seat of your chair. So you're keeping the back of the neck long. Okay? If you've got it in you, do it one more time, going back and forth, and then we'll meet when you're ready, back in downward facing dog. And then from your downward facing dog, walking those feet back towards the chair, hands to your hips, chin to your chest, and rising up. And again, once you're in standing, a little wrist, again, another wrist stretch. So this time, counter stretch. So left hand, fingers point down, palm faces us, right thumb at the base of the palm, and right fingers around the top of that left hand. So don't do it at your fingers because then you're just going to bend at the knuckles. Try to do it at the top of the hand, the back of the palm. And then push through the thumb and draw or pull with your fingers. So top of your wrist gets a nice stretch. I found that the push of the thumb and the pull of the fingers makes quite a difference. So if you want to play with that a bit. And then when you're done on this side, release and go to the other. Fingers point down, palm faces you. Left thumb is going to go right there at the base of the palm, and then left fingers wrap around the top of the hand. And you opposing forces going on here, right? The push through the thumb and the pull through the fingers, and that's going to give you the stretch through the top of the hand, or the top of the wrist. Breath in and breath out. And then release. And then we're going to do that back kind of shoulder stretch, strengthening thing on this side, but we're going to switch the arms. So standing position, left arm comes out into a T, palm is facing back, thumb is pointing down, and then slide that arm behind you. Bend your elbow and see if you can get your forearm to rest kind of at your lower back area. Okay? And then the same thing with the right arm, bring it out. So extend, make space in that shoulder. And then thumb points down, slide that arm behind you, bend the elbow, and your forearm comes kind of parallel to the other one. See if that's available. And then grab a hold of the other arm, wrist, forearm, elbow. And then once you've got that grip, it's a strong grip, so it's not going anywhere, right? And then take a full breath in, lengthen spine. And on your exhale, as the belly draws to the spine, that lower back pushes into those arms. You're squeezing the glutes, the tailbone kind of tucks under, and there's quite a lot going on, even if it doesn't seem like it from the outside. Okay, because you're holding onto your arms and then the lower back wants to kind of spread them apart and it can't. So there's quite a bit of work going on. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. And one more. Inhale and exhale. Nice job. And now when you release, so you feel the release, right? This kind of a you know, the shoulders were working hard, so now you release and it's that softening action. All right, so we'll move the chair out of the way if you wish. If you're going to use it, feel free to stay with the chair, but we'll come down to the ground. Now we'll come into a seated position. The legs are going to be in front of us. The sit bones are going to be planted. And then we'll just find some cows and cats first. So the knees are going to be bent, feet are going wide, and the hands are around the shins or any part on the lower part of the leg. Get a good grip with those hands because you're using those arms to pull that chest forward, coming into your cow pose, lifting the gaze, find that space in the throat, in the front of the body. And then as you exhale, find that space in the back body. Hold on to those shins, those legs, as you go back and round. And then do that a few more times at your own pace, with your own breath, your own exploration here. Some days there's a bit more range available. Other days the movement might be smaller, but it's still movement. It's still extension and flexion of your spine. It's still moving with the breath. And a few more times. And then let's come back through center. And we're going to work a little bit more on hip flexor strength right here. So bring your feet hip width and then extend your left leg all the way out. Okay, so your right knee stays bent and you can choose where to plant that right foot, more out in front of you or closer to you. If you can, bring it close and you can wrap your arms around the shin, do that because it's going to, it can help you here so that you can pull your torso upright. So you're not kind of leaning back, you're more up onto those sit bones. And anytime that we're doing this here, remember that you can lift your sit bones, plant them on the edge of a pillow or a blanket, and that will also encourage the flexion through those hips. All right, so we're going to find those that left hip flexor and thigh. So flex through your left toes, draw the toes towards your shin. You already find that activation. And then we're going to push down through that right foot and those sit bones and see if you can lift your left leg any amount off the ground. Okay, there you go. All right, and lower. So things that happen here, explore it in your own pace, your own time. Things that you'll notice happening here, you'll be really eager to lift, and then what sometimes we'll do is we'll just kind of lean back and then the leg lifts just because we leaned back, right? So if you notice that happening, try to keep your chest moving forward. So extra flexion through that left hip. And don't worry if it doesn't lift at all. You just notice that there's this activation happening. And just doing that is going to strengthen through those hip flexors. So a few more times at your own pace. The other thing you might notice is that you lift like with a jolt and then it drops, right? So if you notice that, try to lift less and then control the lowering. Okay? So you're not just releasing that activation in the hip flexor because it got really fatigued. You're actually keeping it active as you lower. So it's still working when you lower. One more time, wherever you are. Okay, nice job. All right, so we'll switch sides and then I promise you we'll stretch them out. So bending your left knee, planting your left foot, again, wherever feels comfortable for you. If hands around the shins not going to work, remember you can bring your hands behind you and use them to prop your spine up also. Because the other thing that happens here is this area, this hip flexor, is really compressed already. So what you want to try and do is give it a bit of space. So lifting the spine will give some space in this area, right? So if you really hunch down and rounded, then it's really, really short. Okay, so you might already be doing it, but if not, try this side and see what this side is like. And again, don't worry about the height. So it's not about the height, it's about the action. And there might be more action if you lift lower and control the lift and the lowering rather than if you lift higher and there's all the jolting going on. Okay. Use your breath as always. It will help. And use your patience because this is one of those movements too that can be quite frustrating because so much effort goes into it and so little apparent result, right? It seems kind of a simple thing. Take one more wherever you are. Nice. And then relax it. So bend both knees, bring the block with you. And we're going to come down onto the back body. We'll stretch those hip flexors and those quads. So when you're ready, slowly releasing down with control, lower back, mid back, upper back, and lastly head. And the block is here because we'll do a supported bridge pose. So bring those heels a little closer to your sit bones. Your arms are by your side, and then as you inhale, lift your hips into bridge. Already notice the space in the fronts of the hips, and then exhale and lower. Do that 2 more times, just like that, lifting, breathing in, lowering, breathing out. And one more, breathing in to lift and breathing out to lower. Now your block is in one hand. As you inhale, lift those hips, and then that block slides under the sacrum. Sometimes we've talked about the block kind of being a bit rough, the edges kind of getting a bit into the lower back, or the glute muscles not feeling that comfortable. So if that's the case, you could kind of wrap the block in a blanket or something a little bit more soft, and you could do that. Or you could just do this with a blanket instead of a block, or a stack of blankets. So either way, make sure that your sacrum is well supported, that it feels comfortable. And then already here, you might be feeling that opening through your fronts of the hips, and you might stay. If it's available, you need a bit more, and the lower back feels happy, walk your feet away from the block. Any amount that allows you to find that stretch, but also keeps the rest of the body content and comfortable. And then we'll stay. You might even close your eyes. And this is a pose right now that should require minimum effort. So as best you can, it's about relaxing and softening the body. And so letting go of the effort that we invested before. And allowing softness to take over. And you're more than welcome to stay on the block for a few more breaths, but at any point you could just move away, move out of it. If you are staying, let's stay for about 5 more cycles of breath. And then if your legs are extended, bend those knees and walk those feet back towards your block or towards your hips. And then plant your feet, and with your next inhale, lift your hips off the block. Move it out of the way. And then before you lower your hips down, lengthen. So think about lengthening that tailbone towards your heels, towards the lower part of your legs as you lower from upper part of your spine, lower spine, sacrum, and tailbone. And then once those hips are supported on the ground, your feet just walk a bit wider and let your knees rest against one another. See if you can feel that lower back resting on the ground. And there's that slight tuck of your tailbone as if you were trying to bring it between your legs. And hands on your belly as you take a deep breath in, expand the belly into hands. And take a long breath out. Draw the belly away from the hands. Let's do that again. Breathing in. And breathing out. And one more like that. Breathing in. And breathing out. Yeah, we're going to make our way up, but as always, if you have time to stay a bit longer resting, you can do that. If not, find a little wiggle through your fingers and your toes. Some movement through your neck. Maybe the chin moves from one shoulder to the other. And then you might bring those knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. And from your back body, roll onto one side. Support your head in your arms. Give yourself a full breath in. And a full breath out. And then use your hands to prop yourself up. Find a comfortable seat. And let's take a moment to hear and practice together. Acknowledging the practice itself. Acknowledging ourselves for practicing. Acknowledging those who practice with us. And acknowledging those who make it possible. Ending with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.